So what should you do? You always want to help people, and you really hope that person does well. But after nurturing their left and right hands, they don't really work hard. So how does that feel? It drives you crazy, right? So how do you get rid of that? If I'm there, then first you have to completely finish one of that person's lines. So they can't say a word. So at least 2.5 million points, 300,000 points, those amounts aren't enough because things can change. If you go way over 2.5 million points, and when the other person looks, it shows 5 million points, then what happens? They can't say a word. From that point on, there will be people, members, who are trying to catch up, right? Let's say here we have ABC 1, 2, and 3. So here, as ABC and 1, 2, 3 below start to grow rapidly, there will definitely be people who try to make it happen. Of course, some people will just stay still, but there will be others who think, wow, I need to catch up quickly like the director, and they'll push themselves to keep up in their own way. Now, you need to watch them, see how much they can achieve. But don't just stand by and watch. Help them out a little. Don't cut them off completely. And since you're already firmly holding the very bottom, just give them a bit of help here and there as needed. When they grow that much and someone emerges from below, when that person comes up, from that point on, that code becomes your code. Before, even if someone worked half-heartedly, you had to catch those emerging from below. But you can be more relaxed now. Honestly, many people are like that because they just can't stand seeing someone settle in and do nothing after being helped. That's usually how people's minds work. Even if you keep trying to make them into a flower pig, someone who just sits around and does nothing, you just can't stand it. At times like that, you need to think more long term. That's why I tell you to increase your sponsorship bonuses. Even for me, my current rank is diamond, but my sales are almost at the Sharon level. But what happens to me? I'm going down for the long haul, right? Why? Later on, this might actually be faster. You've completely finished one side, right? Then there are people in the middle who are trying to make it happen. When those people who are trying to succeed appear, you help them, right? Then when you help them up to that point of loss, the other person, your partner, feels grateful. So what happens then? If that gratitude gets replicated, things run smoothly there. But if I help out from the very beginning, it always seemed like people took it for granted rather than feeling grateful. Because I've experienced that so many times, I started to think that if I make things too easy or do too much for them, it could actually become a problem. So what I changed in my thinking was this. It's fine if people do well on their own. But what really gets to me is when people in the middle can't do their part. When you go all the way down to the bottom, more and more people get involved, but you can't manage all those lines effectively. So the method I found was to finish up one line at the very bottom and then wait, just waiting until they manage to get it done. So you have to be patient and wait. Then who is the one who wins? The one who endures is the one who wins. So when I did that, I would have meetings with the people who were trying to make it happen, meet with them, and grant their requests. Then, among those people, there are some who really spread out quickly. When that happens, the side that spreads rapidly becomes my perfectly maintained code.